Great good morning to all. I, Smith Marsing, welcome all of you to Magatputri YouTube channel. My dear friends, today in this video we are going to talk UPSC Services Means Examination 2018 English Compulsory. There were two, you can say that qualifying paper or language paper. One is English and other is we have to opt Hindi, Urdu, Marathi, Gujarati, Punjabi, so that the English is compulsory. Each and every student have to qualify this paper, but some exception of northeastern state. So you have to qualify this paper, and you have require only 33% to qualify this paper. But qualifying is necessary. If you not qualify this paper, then the other your GS paper, optional paper will not be evaluated by the commission. So qualifying this paper is necessary. That's why it is called the English compulsory paper. This marks or this paper marks is not included or added in the merit list. But the question here is it has to be qualified. Otherwise it will be fail. So let us start. Time allowed 3 hours and maximum marks 300. I am going only to read the question paper. The purpose of this video is only reading the question paper, recalling or revising the question paper. I am not going to any elaboration, a discussion or analysis of this paper. By revising or reading, recalling, you by yourself able to gain understanding, or by yourself you evaluate this question paper, the pattern of asking the question paper of UPSC, the areas from which they ask the question, and how much. You can say that the word limitations or this type of question they ask, this type of queries you will come up with by reading these questions, or also revising this question multiple times so that you will be able to make a strategy and very compulsory in this paper. How will you write the question in your practice? So question paper specific instructions. Please read each of the following instructions carefully before attempting question. All questions are to be attempted. The number of marks carried by a question is indicated against it. Answer must be written in English only, and word limit in questions wherever is specified should be adhered to, and if answered in much longer or shorter than the prescribed length, marks will be deducted. Any page or portion of page left blank in the question booklet must be struck. So let us start. Question number 1. Write an essay in about 600 words on any one of the following topics. 100 words. A. Impact of westernization on Indian family. B. Literature mirrors society. C. Women in Indian politics. And D. Rural-urban divide in India. Now, question number 2. Read carefully the passage given below and write your answer to the questions that follow in clear, correct and concise language. 15 into 5, 75 marks. It is a comprehensive passage. Below it, there were 5 questions. You have to write the answer of all these questions. Now, we are going to read the passage. It is often said that the Naveed and the Ghurid soldiers regarded death in a war against Enfield as a martyrdom in the cause of Islam, but it is more likely that the real cause was the attraction of a plunder, the likes of which they had not seen in the campaigns in the more arid lands. For Indian commanders, apart from plunder, battles incorporated the niceties of a sport which its own rules of play, immortalizing the heroism of kings in the battle. The poets and wards emphasized the rules of war and calvary. To apply the calvary code in the minor campaign may have revealed the tedium of war, but the campaigns against the Ghurids were of an entirely different nature, and this may not have been realized initially. Notion of honors and devotions were often placed above expediency, and gradually the astrologically determined auspicious moment or attack to precedence over strategy and tactics. inflated claims to valor, such as the hero who could defeat 1,000 warriors simultaneously and began to enter the rhetoric of courtly literature. The organization of Indian Army added to their weakness. Each army had its permanent core or the standing army, but many of the soldiers were the local levies and soldiers supplied by the Samantas, where this was part of the latter obligation to the suzerain. In addition, mercenaries were visible sections of the armies of this time, such as a collection of the soldiers and not always being trained to fight as a consolidated army. It was possibly also the disparate character of the army that gave it a license to plunder indiscriminately. Villagers were harassed and looted by armies on the march, particularly if the campaign coincided with the harvesting of the crop, as it often did. For peasants and merchants, war was a nightmare that disturbed the routine of earning of livelihood. Laying waste vast tracts of inhabited and cultivated land, and merely because it was part of the enemy territory, was a proud boast attributed to Prithviraj Chauhan on defeating the Chandela ruler. Historians have sometimes commented, perhaps more from the hindsight, on why Indian rulers did not make a conjoint effort through the centuries of defending the northwest passes. Time and again invaders come to these passes, yet little was done to prevent this. The defense of the region lying arbitrarily in the hands of the local rulers. It appears the construction of a series of fortifications along the passes was not too feasible. Perhaps the need for defense was not given priority, an area being viewed as a natural frontier. Alternatively, given the mountains terrain, not the only route for pastoralists and the caravans were through the passes, and it was therefore thought better to leave them open. The local kings and chiefs who controlled the passes derived an income from the trade. There would have been familiarity too with those coming across the passes, and therefore a slow recognition of some time friendliness had turned into hostility. The effectiveness of the mountains as a frontier was also thought by the many occasions when the Punjab was conquered from across the borders or was involved in the politics of Afghanistan and Central Asia. The closeness militated against a properly focused perspective of the political development across the borderlands and in Central Asia. Invasions by the outsider are known in many parts of the world. The Huns attacking the Rome, the Arabs invading Spain, or the Spanish and Portuguese conquering the Latin America. The potentialities of invention were recognized only in hindsight. These inventions were mounted by alien people who were little known, if at all, of the societies they invaded. But the Turks had been a contiguous people familiar from trade in horses and other commodities, and from Turkish mercenaries employed in some Indian armies. However, the historical scene in the Central Asia and the West Asia has now changed. The new political ambition after the rise of Islam for the ruler of the northern India to recognize this would have acquired an understanding of a wider range of politics and beyond the areas enclosed by the immediate frontier. This does not appear to have been an Indian concern. Indians who traveled to different parts of Asia on a variety of assignments wrote a little about what they observed, remaining silent on the politics of other lands. It was almost as if the exterior landscape was irrelevant. Political interest therefore tended to be parochial. This marks a striking contrast to the world of the Chinese and the Arabs, both made aware of distant places through their detailed accounts of travelers and traders. The Arabs has a fascination for the geography of other lands, and the Chinese were wary of happening in their neighborhood in the Central Asia. Al-Gurney, in the opening chapter of his book, suggests the other regions for the lack of recording observation concerning the wide perception of the world, which one may or may not agree with. The Hindus believe that there is no country but theirs, no nation like theirs, no king like theirs, no religions like theirs, no science like theirs. They are by nature literally communicating what they know, and they take the greatest possible care to withhold it from male of another caste from among their own people. Still more, of course, from any foreigners. Now, question is, what was the nature of campaigns against Gurdis? And B. Question. According to the passes, the Indian ruler did not find it necessary to fortify the northwest pass and war. 15 marks, 15 marks. Now, question number C. Explain the statement the potentialities of invention were recognized only in hindsight. D. Give your critical observations of Albernic comment on Hindus. And E. Enumerate the major viewpoint of the given passages. All contain 15 marks. Now we will going to read the question number 3. Make a precise of the following passages in about 1/3 of its length. Do not give a title to it. The precise should be written in your own words. 25 marks. The resonance in India was not like the resonance in Europe. It was not a return to India of the past. It was essentially a matter of spirit, which produced a striking change in the realm of religion, society, and culture, along with a demand of natural regeneration. There arose a new self-consciousness among the people of India. The soul of India began to unfold itself and break the shackles of the past. It maintained that the renaissance in India stirred the Indian soul to its very depth, and the modern India owns everything to the Renaissance, which was followed by Reformation, a movement all over India. It also paved the way for national regeneration. The spirit of Renaissance and the subsequent reform movement affect almost all the aspects of national life. There were new developments in religious, social, and political life. There were new trends in the field of education, literature, fine arts, and science. The view of Sir Jagannath Sarkar is that the Indian Renaissance was at first intellectual awakening, which profoundly affected our literature, education, thought, and art. In the next succeeding generation, it became a moral force that reformed the Indian society and religion. In the third generation, it brought about the economic modernization of India, ultimately the political emancipation. In his book, the title The Resonance of India, Sri Aurobindo has attempted an analysis of the resonance in India. He points out that the 18th century and the early 19th century in India were periods of political decline, defeat, and anarchy, which practically killed the creative spirit of religion and art. India began to imitate Europe and forget her own achievements in the past. However, the life breath of the nation moved at a subordinate undercurrent in the religious movement of Bengal and Punjab, in the political aspirations of Maharashtra, the literary activity of Bengal. Sri Aurobindo points out that the resonance in India in the 19th century had the three aspects. The first place, it aimed at a recovery of the old spiritual capsule contained in the sacred book of the country. The researchers of European idealists helped the people in the West and the India to understand and appreciate the achievements of the Indians in the past. Philosophers and thinkers like Sobchenua Hars, Emerson Therio, and Roy C. highly praised India's wisdom in the past. Indian saint and majestic leaders in India also had the same process. Secondly, this regret spiritually inspired face activity in the fields of philosophy, literature, art, etc. Thirdly, an attempt was made to deal in an original way with the modern problems in the light of the new inspiration. Sri Aurobindo did not compare the Indian resonance with the European resonance of the 15th century. He compared it with the Celtic resonance, where Ireland wanted to go back to the old culture after a long period of the British domination. In his analysis of the Indian resonance, Aurobindo put a great emphasis on the recovery of the spiritual tradition and heritage of the past. According to him, the establishment of the new religion sect in India was a central event in the Indian resonance. The Brahmo Samaj, the Arya Samaj, the Ramakrishna Paramahansa, and the Vivekananda, the new Vaishnavism of Bengal, the resonance in the Islam tried to go back to the past and recover the light of the old wisdom. Sri Aurobindo referred to the cosmopolitanism, eclecticism, and religious rationalism and the logic of the Brahmo Samaj, all the leaders of resonance in India, Dayananda appealed most of Sri Aurobindo. He considered him as a unique personality which created a vigorous Aryan manhood in India. Aurobindo found a national instinct in the reliance of Dayananda on a Vedic wisdom. To quote Aurobindo, Dayananda brings back an old Aryan element into the national character and gave credit to the theosophical societies for getting more recognition in the West and for some of the physics, occult, and esoteric achievements of the old Hindus. According to Aurobindo, Ramakrishna Paramahansa was the man who had the greatest influence and has done the most to regenerate Bengal. Vivekananda proclaimed to the world that India was awake not only to exist but also to conquer. In India itself, Vivekananda was a leader who wanted the preservation by reconstruction. Aurobindo also referred to the achievements of J.C. Ghosh and Rabindranath Tagore in the field of Indian resilience. Aurobindo believed that the spiritual and intellectual advance of India was bound to come to both the resilience in India is an inevitable as the rising of tomorrow's sons and resilience of a great nation of 300 millions was so peculiar in temperament, such unique tradition, the ideas of mind so powerful that intelligence and so great a mass potentially disease cannot but one of the most formidable phenomena of the modern world. 795 words. Now, question 4a. Rewrite the following sentence after making necessary corrections. Do not make unnecessary change in the original sentence. 4a1. He died with fever. Second, Ram acted with my proposal. Third, she quarreled against me over the properties. Fourth, be careful for your mother's health. And fifth, a Sikh tall than any of his comrades lurched forward. Now, 6. They cheated each other. 7. Old fathers looked to his children. And 8. Many a man have been tuned by the speculation. 9. Let him and I go to it. 10. The priest was very kind for all of us. Now, 4b. Supply the missing word. A. The boy cannot go. Blank. The prisoner in the school. Second. Do not take law. Blank. Your own hands. Third. The criminal was whipped. Blank. To the court. Fourth, I want to push blank as soon as I finish my work. Fifth, the girl blank into depression 2 years ago. 1 into 5. 5 marks total. Now, question number 4c. Give the correct form of the verbs in the bracket. 1 into 5. 5 marks. 1. Her path was blank with the flowers. Second, he had blank his speech before we arrived. And third, the book has blank the test of the time. And fourth, recently the price of petrol blank up. And the fifth, the old beggar was blank by a blank job. Now question number 4b. Write the antonyms of the following. A. Segregations. 3. And 10 to 8. 3. Poverty. 4. Torment. 5. Torments. Now question number 5a. Rewrite the following sentences as directed without changing the meaning. 1 into 10. 10 marks. 1. Ravi said, I will eat rice for lunch today. Change into an indirect speech. Second, the man was running the shop for long. Change into passive voice. Third, he was in Delhi. He did not meet his friend. Rewrite by using through. Fourth, I landed at the airport. I started raining. Rewrite by using sooner. Fifth, though we were under the British rule, we had a rich cultural heritage. Change into a simple sentence. Sixth, India can change only when education is reached to all. Use unless. Seventh, people in a developing countries are both rich and poor. Rewrite by using either or all. Now 8. If you work hard, you will achieve success. Rewrite by using in order to. Most of the corrupt politicians do not find themselves in jail. Change into complex sentence. And 10. He is old. He cannot climb a stair. Rewrite by using to. Question number 5. Use the following words to make sentences that bring out their meanings clearly. Do not change the form of words. No mark will be given for vague and ambiguous sentences. 1. Mandatory. 2. Dilemma. Petrified. 4. Obfuscate. And 5th. Diligent. So, second. 5c. Choose the appropriate word to fill in the blanks. 1. The terrorist blank fear in the minds of the people. And second, The boys blank to the words of the teacher. And third, ever since the dictator blank has arrived, people are suffering. Fourth, it is almost blank to suggest that he does not lie. And 5c, fifth, an individual's life is just blank to the grand history of mankind. Now, 5d, use the following idioms and phrases in sentence of your own to bring out their meaning clearly. Do not change the form of words. 1. Through thick and thin. 2nd. Sitting on the fence. 3rd. Through cold water. 4th. Foot the will. 5th. Chapter and verses. So these are some of all the civil services 2018 UPSC men's examination question paper of English Compulsory. UPSC 2018 Civil Services Men's Examination 2018 English Compulsory paper. You have to only qualify this paper getting 33%. This paper merit, this paper marks is not added in the merit list. But qualifying this paper is necessary for the recognition of all other your answer sheet or papers. So, by making a proper strategy, you have to take out the 23% marks in this paper. Why my purpose of this reading to the question paper, so that you can know all the questions, the pattern of asking, the areas of asking, the commissions, and for the purpose that in future you will make a strategy for your own preparation. Thank you. Revise it many times so that you will generate a new concept, and in the examination you will be able to write the question of this, answer of this question in very cohesive, coherent, and to the context. Thank you. Have a great day.